that now.
Hold on to your moose nuts. We're going live. Who's got their volume up? Who is that? Who's the offender? You Mike? Got their volume up. Who is that? Who's got their volume up?
I got mine up. Hold on, I'm getting to it.
We're supposed to be professionals here.
Nothing but professionals.
After 4 years, we should be able to get this down.
Discovery
Let's start.
Bay's already in here.
Hey, Discovery Bay's in here. Was that a little?
Well, on Discovery. I watched the show earlier today. He was doing a little drinky drink, a little talky talk. It was all right. It was a good show.
Before we jump into the comics, let's talk about what else we've been doing. Last night. It was an HBO show called Raised by Wolves. I watched episode 1 of that. Talk about a weird freaking show. What else did we watch? I watched New Mutants. We talked about that last week. Been watching Big Bang Theory. Also been watching a reality show called 60 Days In on AMC. About people who go to jail for 60 days.
Put like cops and throw them in jail or something for like 60 days.
Some are cops, some are regular people, stuff like that. And I just realized there's no way I could even survive. I do not have a poker face at all. They'd call me out right from the beginning. I would be out of there, or I'd be somebody's. Whoa!
The power of Christ compels you.
What have you been doing, Mike?
Oh, working. I haven't really been watching anything. Played a lot of Assassin's Creed. I'm like 70 hours in or some shit.
Jesus Christ.
I know Cyberpunk comes out on the 10th, so
I heard it got delayed again, and my son told me that at dinner time.
It downloaded to my system yesterday. I just can't play it till the 10th.
I hear he said it got delayed another 23 days or something. Double check that.
I don't know about all that. Maybe on the new systems. I don't know. Whatever. More Assassin's Creed time. Killing Christians. Hail Hydra.
Hail Hydra.
What about you, Joe? What else have you been doing besides reading comic books?
Oh, let's see here. I haven't been watching much TV, so I'm an episode behind on Mandalorian. I did not watch tonight's episode, but
so good.
I will catch that right after this show. I assure you that. But I, besides tonight's episode, I'm caught up on that. And I've started the design for the next Evil Layer project build. As I mentioned, I'm making a Keyblade. Only I'm making an evil one. I'm making a Sora. The Sora, I think, is the character's name. Sora.
Yes.
I'm making an evil version of hers. Somebody said it was a he. I doubt it. I'm gonna kind of man it up a little bit.
You also have some other stuff coming on, Joe. You mentioned something in our chat. You're going to be a guest host on another show. Something to do with villains, right?
So it was really cool because Mr. Comichead 89 reached out to me and asked if I would be in the Knockout. And if you don't know what the Knockout is, it's a show where two people are given a character and you debate it. And you go down to the brackets, villains versus villains, heroes versus heroes, until the last battle, which is, of course, a villain and a hero. And he asked me to pick a villain because he knows I love villains. And so I will be debating for Lex Luthor. And as soon as he showed me the bracket and I saw Lex, I didn't even know who else was in there. I was like, I want Lex Luthor. I'll do Lex Luthor. And my first match will be against Tacoma Comics. Great guy, great YouTuber, great show. And he'll be doing Wilson Fisk. And actually, it was a random drawing that those two pretty even matched characters are going to be battling. So that was just serendipitous. So I look forward to that. And if Tacoma Comics is watching, good luck, bud. I'm coming to destroy.
Now you're talking about bracket, but I started a bracket as well. It had nothing to do with that either. I didn't even know that was going on with you if you're doing the bracket. So I wanted to try something this weekend, maybe something moving forward, what we may do. So we were trying to figure out maybe what's the best comic of the week, and that's what we're going to do. We're going to compare two comics. We're going to declare a winner of those two comics, and then move forward down the bracket until we get our comic pick of the week. Doesn't mean we still can't blast or stash whatever books we like, and we're still going to talk about them and review them, but we're going to pick a clear winner between two and move on down. And if we do have a tie, so if there's only two people that read that book this week, and Joe stashed it, I blasted it, you, the audience, is going to make that decision. The live audience make the decision on which one moves forward.
You guys,
so let's go ahead and jump into the bracket I got set up here. And the first one are not even DC books, two books: Deceased, Dead Planet, and King in Black #1. Joe, you want to talk about Deceased, Dead Planet first?
Sure. So this is interesting because it's dealing with solutions, 3 different solutions to the same problem. If you've been reading up so far, you know The Walking Dead has hit the earth, and it's even affected superheroes and supervillains alike. And so what we got now is we got a group of superheroes, and they figured out the bullshit equation, chemical, plant-based, whatever. So the heroes have gotten together, and they've gotten their woo-woo solution of curing everybody. They even cured Big Bertha. So Mr. Miracle is super happy about that because he gets to lay up with a BBW. Cool. After that, our villains down in Australia, the Penguin and all those guys, they have a different solution to the problem. They made an Amazo army. Amazo, the robot thing that almost killed the Justice League by himself. Well, they made a whole army of them, apparently. And they're just going to kill all the Walking Dead and become the ruling class or the ruling party of Earth now. That's what villains do. They want to rule the world. But the most absolute solution that could possibly happen comes from Trigon. He rises from hell and he's like, yeah, I'm just going to destroy everything. Put it all asunder. We're burning it down. So really cool book. It's not that bad, and it makes it really hard to go up against something. It's 2 very different stories, but I'm really enjoying this. So now we have this new conflict that's happening in this thing with 1 issue left. So I know the next issue is going to have lots of stuff in it. Good read. It's a stash.
Mike, what about you? Did you read Deceased, Dead Planet this week?
I did read Deceased, Dead Planet, and I agree with Joe. It's a stash. It's stash in all these. You got the villains wanting to do their own thing. You got the heroes wanting to cure everybody, and like Joe said, Trigon, he just wants to burn the whole fucking place down. It's pretty. I didn't realize there was another issue, so I was going into this expecting it to end. I think John Constantine throughout this whole thing has been the standout. He's pretty fucking funny. But I'm stashing Dead Planet.
Yeah, I think it's going to be a stash for me too. I do like John Constantine. His solution is pretty much take everybody's powers. He's got the technical quilt or whatever you want to call that.
Ragman's quilt.
Ragman's quilt. And then the different spears and stuff like that. But he's being kind of like a little sneaky. He doesn't want to tell.
He's being Constantine.
He's being Constantine. He's Constantine in and up. That's what Jeremy would say. He's Logan, Logan-y. So yeah, I like, he's almost like a Batman kind of, because Batman has his plan, but he doesn't want to tell everybody. He wants to keep it close to the chest, and that's what he's been doing this entire time. You think he's doing something for himself, and now he has all these weapons in his arsenal, getting ready to try to solve it his way. So it's definitely a stash for me too. Double S said, like Seth Rollins, Michael, burn it down.
Seth Rollins is about to be a daddy. I don't know when his wife is due, but Becky Lynch, any wrestling fans?
No, not modern stuff.
They're popping out a baby here, probably real soon. So he's taking a little leave of absence. Her vagina's burning, so burning for a bait. I don't know where I'm going with it. Moving on.
You were going someplace with it.
Moving on. And the second book that is in that bracket that's going up against the Seated Planet is King in Black #1. This has been hyped for a good long time. It's a good heavy book, too. It's pretty thick book. Mike likes them thick, don't you, Mike?
Yes.
So in this book here, of course, we have Null finally making his way down to Earth. We have all the superheroes on board to help fight against him. And, of course, then we also have Brock trying to protect his son from what's going on. And Iron Man thinks he has this big game plan. He's going to be able to do it all with his technology. You soon find out that's not going to happen. I tell you what, Tony Stark looks a little menacing in here as well in some of these panels. I'm like, dude, you look like a total perv.
He is a perv.
He is kind of a perv. But, we soon find out that Null's army is too big for Iron Man's weaponry to be able to fend off. And then we put he puts son Dylan in the what's that?
Big and thick.
Big and thick, baby.
BB.
And then, of course, we have venomized Sentinels coming down as well. And then, of course, the heroes
Celestials.
I'm sorry, what did I say?
Sentinels,
sorry, Celestials. And then we see the hero's secret weapon, who we think it is. Don't shake your head at me, Mike. Don't you dare do that.
I love you, Dave.
Whatever. We have Sentry going to come in and fight Null, but we still find out that Sentry cannot handle his own, and Null end up ripping him a new one, literally, right in half. And then we have, of course, Eddie trying to tie in with Null to finally, okay, you want me? Let's go for it. Here I am. But we find out, too, he's not after Eddie. He's after Dylan. Overall, it's a great book. It's a stash. I think it's lived up to its hype, so it's a stash for me. Joe, what about you?
Definitely. The first issue was, I think it met the expectations we all expected it to have. Donnie Cates just nailed it out again. It's amazing. It's almost as if Marvel is just hanging all their hopes on poor Cates. But yeah, this is one of those great scenes that we see in comic books where no matter what you do, you're going to lose. And I absolutely love it. Everything the heroes threw at them, Noel just threw it back in their face. It was like, oh, look, we got Sentry. Oh, Sentry's going to beat you up. And, he's like, no, don't tear me open. Oh, no, I'm the Void. You're going to release the Void. And Black Knight was like, I am the Void, Slake. Like, this is me. And all the heroes are like, oh, you stole my pudding. It was bad. It's just absolute all through the thing. They set the premise right here, right now. You can't follow comic book tropes in this anymore. There's no dun. This certain hero shows up. They trash that idea. Sneaky plans. Nope, that didn't work either. Brute force. Nope. Playing Jesus Christ and sacrificing yourself. Nope, that didn't work either. It's just it's epically awesome, and I'm glad they threw it out in the first issue. What's going to scare me is that this was at such a high level. What does that mean for the next issues? Right?
Yeah.
Because the tie-ins were garbage. So where does that put us? So I don't know, but this was my pick of the week.
Mike, what about you for King in Black?
Yeah, we have waited pretty much all year for this. Actually, but I know it's been delayed just because of reasons, and they held back no punches with this. They went straight out. No fucking comes to Earth, and Tony has some like derelict what are the Kree warships out in space, and he detonates them. That doesn't stop him. And like I said, what's his name? Cap calls him Sentry. The heroes are fucked. This was a great book. No is awesome. I mean, he's very quiet. He's very meticulous. He's gonna kick some shit. So
and super polite. Did you notice that too? Like
yeah, he's polite. He's like, yeah, fuck it.
He's like, yeah.
Okay, so both those books we all stashed. So Deceased Dead Planet and King in Black. But now it comes the time to choose which one is better, King in Black or Deceased Dead Planet.
It's. I had to choose to buy one of them to read again or give one up. I would keep the King in Black. That's my book.
Mike, how about you?
I agree.
So King in Black moves forward.
Let us know what you think in the room too between those two. I know there's a hardcore DC fan out there. It's like, no, Dead Planet. Then we can point and laugh at you. No, I'm kidding.
Next is up Batman versus Batman Catwoman. Mike, you want to talk about Batman?
Batman Catwoman or Batman?
Or either one. I don't care. Whichever one you want.
Which one's?
We got them both up. They're going head to head.
All right. Where's my fucking shit? Where's my shit?
I don't know where your shit is.
I read a lot of books.
So did I.
I read a lot of books.
Get a lot of books this week. Normally, I've got all the books.
Because all these antibiotics. All right. Batwoman or Batman, Catwoman, Black Label, #1 is a blast for me. It was so confusing. There's a story taking place in the past, the present, and the future. I don't fucking know. The only thing I know that I really have high hopes for that's going to make me continue picking this up is Phantasm. They're introducing the Phantasm in the comics. If you don't know who Phantasm is, he was the first Batman animated movie character from back in the 90s. Is it?
Yeah, 95, 96, right around 97.
Vaguely remember that, yeah.
So I'm curious to see how they're going to utilize him in future issues. Other than that, this issue is a blast.
Yeah, I'm right there with you, Mike. It was really hard to follow with so many different timelines coming in, and all I know is some dude with male pattern baldness, and there's a Phantasm in there, and that's all I know.
You know, if they would have put, on the top of when, they actually put past, future, and present, kind of okay, or they didn't have to do it at all. They could have just introduced Phantasm or whatever the fuck his name is, and went with that. But the art's really good.
Yeah, the art's really good.
Catwoman looks sexy.
You guys are digging for positives.
Yeah, it's a blast for me too, Joe. I'm probably going to end up picking up the rest of them just because of their Batman book. Mike or Joe, what about you for Batman Catwoman?
Who wrote that?
Tom King.
Blast. No, I didn't.
You didn't read it?
No.
Okay, so
I read Batman, but I didn't read Batman Catwoman.
So you know it's a blast. So okay, moving forward to Batman. What do you think of Batman then, Joe?
Oh, I kind of like this, even though they did kind of the most annoying thing you can do when you're reading literature in any format. They did a flashback within a flashback, and that's just, it's tropey, and it just comes off weird. But they did it in here. I'll forgive it because it was kind of relevant to the story to realize that at one point, this Ghostmaker character and Bruce Wayne were actually like buddy friends. And then they actually stopped being buddy friends and had to kind of come to an agreement to function in the same world, to have some sort of agreement, if you will, which has been broken, right? Because Ghostmaker's in Gotham, and that was part of the deal. You don't come to Gotham, I will go wherever city you're in, rid the world of evil. I did like the fact that Ghostmaker thinks Bruce Wayne's reasons for everything that he does, his parents being dead, yada, 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 he finds that to be a very weak reason. Like that, he's like, that's why you're doing it. I'm doing it because it's, I'm stoic to some degree. And whereas Bruce Wayne's doing it for utilitarian reasons plus trauma from his youth. So I really liked that. I like the whole Saw scene in this where they're stuck in a room in a mental hospital way off an abandoned part of it. And the whole, will Cloud Hunter kill Harley Quinn? Will he not? I like it. It's kind of cool. Not a tropiness in this one, but I'm willing to forgive it because it will push the narrative. And I think we got some awesome stuff coming along. So this is a stash for me.
Mike, how about you for Batman?
If they got rid of all the flashback shit with him and we get it. I get it. You guys have a past, and just move forward, and that would be awesome. But I liked it. I like the Clown Hunter and Harley stuff, and them being trapped in Arkham. This is a stash, definitely over Batman, Catwoman. So.
Yeah, I'm gonna say it's a stash too. But again, it is getting a little old. We know that there's a history. We don't need to go over multiple books talking about what kind of history they have and how he thinks that Batman is weak because of his feelings towards his parents and loss and stuff like that. And we can move forward. We can move past that now. And I'm hoping that's what we're going to see in the future going on. This one page, that one panel right there with them getting in fight when they're younger, that's a weird kind of drawing.
Awkward.
But overall, it was a great book. So it's a stash for me. But so really, we can kind of tell right now because we both blasted Batman, Catwoman, and we all stashed Batman. So we know Batman's going to be moving forward. And
Wait, who wrote Batman, Catwoman again? Who wrote that?
Yeah, Tom King.
Oh, yeah, Blast. Did we already do that? I'm sorry.
Yeah, we did. Okay, moving on. Then we have the Union and Thor. I think I pretty much know where this one's going to. I did not read the Union, but I did watch
got the Union.
Your videos and stuff earlier. Joe or Mike, how about you? Want to go with Union? Did you read it?
I'll go with Union.
Okay, go with Union. Talk about it.
So I went to the comic book store on Wednesday, ad opening, grabbed the King in Black, got home, read the King in Black, loved it. I said, I need to get these tie-ins. Hopefully there's something cool going on. Bought the Union for the King in Black tie-in. So I read the Union. You got a new team based out of the UK. Where the fuck is my notes? Let's read off all these characters. We got Union Jack. I've always liked Union Jack. He's pretty cool. I think Joe said it in one of his videos that he's like a Britain's Captain America. Then we got Britannia, the Corps. Well, how do you say that? The Choir? I don't fucking know.
Choir.
It doesn't matter. It's stupid anyway. Kelpie, and because I think WWE creative team is working for Marvel now. They just named this guy Snakes.
What is that about?
I'm like, really?
Snakes.
Yes, Double S. It is Western Union.
Far West.
But the whole time, okay, they basically introduced the team, and at the very end, you get your King in Black tie-in. They're attacked by one of the dragon symbiotes, and it actually kills Britannia. It's a blast for me. If you're looking for a King in Black tie-in, don't bother. I just spoiled it for you. There's a dragon. Okay. Most of the characters are pretty stupid except for Union Jack. So, I'm blasting.
What about you, Joe?
So, yeah, it's a blast for me, too. Could care less about the tie-in. I think it was 3 panels. Not pages. Panels.
Oh, they also kill the dragon, and then the stuff oozes off the dragon and infects a bunch of people.
Yeah, so it's going to affect people, so we know this is going to go worldwide. But, yeah, this was stupid. Basically, we got the tryouts, if you will, to join the Union. That's pretty much where we're at. And, unfortunately, Union Jack has to try out along with some other people. I'm assuming it's because they're playing like a capture the flag type of thing. It wasn't very clear, but we know that there's action that has to happen. And our characters are generic at best. Like there's nothing really unique. Like one does the sound thing, and one's super strong, and like nothing really cool
And then
there.
there's snakes.
Yeah, and then there's snakes. I'm assuming he's a strong one. Call me weird. But the cool thing about this is that I did find this interesting. Since it's the United Kingdom, ruled by Britain, these characters are from different parts of the. So you got like an Irish cat and a Wales cat, and, not cat but person, from these other ones. Other than that, at best. And also, I'm not a fan of Union Jack. He even says in here, like at least Captain America, like got juiced up on some drugs, right, and got super strong, right, like steroids, whatever 1940s steroids were. This guy doesn't have that. He's like, no, just my natural athletic ability, mate, or whatever they say in England. Look, I'm not making fun of English people. Maybe I am. We fought a war, so I don't have to listen to you people. But I will say this: when's the last time he says his natural athletic ability? When's the last time somebody from England got a gold medal from a sport that, we care about?
Didn't involve drinking.
Like, oh, we got the gold medal in darts, mate, or whatever they say there. Look, I don't know. All right, and I'm not making fun
Still in
of
Australia with this shit.
I don't know. Look, I'm not making fun of English or England. I'm making fun of this character. So if we have any English people that watch this in the after show, no, I don't hate your people. I think you all are pretty cool and you make really good beer. Although you are the only country in the world that think gin is a male drink. Like in every other culture, that's a woman's drink. So I'm just Union Jack probably drinks gin. I'm just throwing that out there. Blast.
Okay, I have it. I just didn't get around to reading it. It was at the bottom of my stack. Let's talk about the other book, though, that is in that same bracket, and that is Thor number 10. We're continuing with the Dr. Blake story. This was kind of interesting because, he's making this realization that, like, dude, you screwed me. And you put all these fake memories in my head, like this ant biting me that really hurt. Why the hell would you do that? Why would you hell put me in this world and add that memory in there? And he's talking about the two truths and stuff like that. And then he ends up getting attacked by Sif and the other Asgardians, and ends up freaking cutting them up pretty good, better than Gage from Pet Cemetery with that little scalpel. Just cutting everybody up with it.
Skeet.
Ripping off Beta Ray Bill's head. I never have seen Beta Ray Bill without a helmet or his whatever you want
I
to call
always
it.
thought that was his head. I didn't know
Doesn't
that
he
was
look
a
like
helmet.
Morph from the X-Men animated series?
Yeah, kind of.
Yeah.
But he ended up dispatching the Asgardians pretty easily. And overall, I think this is pretty good. I think he's just wanted to, again, take over Thor's life, say, hey, it's my time to shine, not yours, Thor. I'm taking this bitch over. This is a stash. It was good. Thor's been consistently pretty good. Joe, I know you read Thor number 9 or 10.
Yes, I did. And I got this beautiful 1 in 25 variant, which is a play off of yin and yang, which is cool. So that's exactly what we're dealing with. This is beautiful. I'm glad we finally get some Dr. Blake back into modern comic books. What is it like? This is a snapshot of nihilism. Nothing matters. It doesn't matter. My God has forsaken me, or the person that created me made me fake and not real. So nothing matters. Watch it all burn. I don't think he wants to take anything over. I think he just wants to destroy everything that has meaning now that he has no meaning or any real existence. He's a made-up fictition of somebody's imagination. Just ponder that for a second. If one day you woke up and you were like, "That I'm not real," like I'm a comic book character or something along those lines. It's like reading Deadpool just the way it should be written. Like my life is meaningless, and he's angry about it, and he's mad, and maybe even bitter. And we get left off with him hugging and saying hello to his good compadre Foster. With Jane, is it Jane Foster?
Yeah, Jane
Foster. And oh man, it's just gonna get sick and it's gonna get weird. And who's the writer on this one again?
Oh, Kate's
the $1 Million Baby for Marvel. I'm just saying, like, he's really busy right now, and I'm starting to get worried as these storylines start launching off. How is everything going to be interesting? Because it's a lot of work for one person. So hopefully it maintains. I think it's really cool. I love the fact that he basically is Thor mentally, like he knows everything that Thor would know. That's why he's able to dispatch everything as quickly as he did. I love the fact of him taking a scalpel and just going like prison shanking people like everywhere. He's just that was awesome. So yeah, this is a hard stash for me. My second pick of the week.
So it sounds like Thor is going to beat out the Union by a long shot.
Yeah, you shouldn't even put the Union. We need to rethink.
Yeah, you shouldn't even ask my opinion on it.
Yeah.
I didn't. Oh, I'm sorry, Mike. Mike,
Yeah,
I'm sorry. What'd you think of Thor?
It was a stash. You guys said enough, except for this. What's this guy cover's artist name? Lashley.
I don't know.
Ashley?
Who's Ashley? I don't know who that. I have that cover too.
I want this to happen in The King in Black. I want Thor to be possessed by Null or be nullified. I just love this cover. So, yeah, Thor's definitely. Thor's a good candidate for Marvel Book of the Year come the stashies.
Which is coming up here next month, less than a month.
We got to get Thor.
We got to get a Thor. We got to get a date nailed down for that.
Sometime in 2020.
2021.
2020. Because you're reviewing the books from 2020.
See what your bracket did? We're already disagreeing.
Okay, let's go into War of the Gods versus Batman Adventures. Joe, did you read War of the Gods? That was that Tales from the Dark Multiverse book.
Tales from the what?
Tales from the Dark Multiverse.
No, I got Endless Winter.
Okay, Endless Winters, not yet. I didn't really get a chance. I didn't read all the way through. I was so tired last night, and this is a book that was just not hitting it. I was going to sleep, so I cannot give a review on this book. Mike, did you read Tales from the Multiverse?
I did.
That's a good way to start it.
I did, but
I did.
Basically, all you gotta know is Wonder Woman throughout this whole book is possessed by, I don't even know how to know, Hecate, Hector Vargas. I don't know. She's evil as shit. But it's pretty boring. The coolest part is towards the very end. I know, Dave, you said you didn't read it all, but she actually rips out Superman's heart, and I peed a little when I saw that. So, but I'm blasting this. It was nothing special.
it seemed like it tied in a little bit with that event that happened with Justice League Dark. A while ago when women combined with that witch. I think it had a lot to do with that too. But okay, let's jump into. So that was a blast for me and you. Anybody else read Batman Adventures Continue #7?
No, I read good comic books.
I have it, but I'm behind. I haven't even read 6.
Okay. This is still continuing to be a good, fun Batman book. I mean, I've said it since the beginning. If you like Batman cartoon show, the animated series from 90s, you'll like this. I mean, this has the same kind of vibe, same kind of art and everything in here. Don't need to go a whole lot of story. Red Hood has Robin captured, and he thinks he's going to be able to drown him. He's trying to make a trap for Batman to come in. He's also has the Joker captured as well. And Red Hood doesn't give two shits. He'll pull a gun out and pop a cap in Joker, which he does toward the end of the book. He ended up shooting him in the shoulder. But why is Joe? Oh, yes, Mike.
It makes me smile every time you say "pop a cap" in somebody.
Why is that?
I don't know.
Because you're living in a gangster's paradise.
Yeah,
It
that's
makes
what
me
it is.
smile even more if you say it with a brony shirt on.
I could be badass and wear a brownie shirt. I'll Krav McGraw the shit out of you.
What the hell did you? What?
Who says that?
uh,
I'm gonna crawl your ass.
Krav McGraw. At the end of the book, though, Red Hood ends up getting away, but he's saved by Deathstroke, and so now he may be part of Deathstroke. It's kind of retconning a little bit of some of the characters, and maybe this is just its own DC universe, where it's not tied into the main continuity. Overall, this has been great. I've been digging Batman Adventures Continue, and I thought this was the last issue, but I guess they at least got one more coming out for this run. So
I thought they decided to continue it.
It continues
because it's doing good. I don't know. I could just be making shit up. Who knows?
It's Kate's writing it.
No, Kate's not writing.
Oh, Kate's not writing it.
I don't know who's writing that. Who is writing that? Burnett. Okay, so it sounds like that's you blasted War of the Gods, so didn't you?
I did, yes.
So, but it sounds like maybe Batman Adventures is probably gonna take that over.
Squeeze them through.
Copy.
Is anybody else drinking tonight? If you're drinking something, let us know in the chat. What I'm drinking Tavern Ale, some old school like that.
Okay, come on, get up there. There we go. Next, we have Endless Winter versus Fantastic Four Road Trip. Joe, why don't you give us an Endless Winter?
So, I liked Endless Winter, and I know there's been some out there where people are like, there's an event already going on, blah, blah, blah. I get it. It can be annoying. But I like this, and I like where it's going. I'm not a big fan of this cover, mostly because of this whole cartoony type punch right here on Superman's face.
His jaw's all bananaed. I mean,
it's all
yeah.
But this was really cool because, all right, so Superman moved his home to the Bermuda Triangle, or his Fortress of Solitude. So what does that mean? What did he leave behind? Well, Stag, another organization with an evil egomaniac in charge of it, they decided to start mining around there and start kind of mining up some of these Kryptonian crystals and stuff like that, and end up releasing, right now we're referencing him as the Frost King. Right? Horrible, but not his name. That's just what the superheroes are calling him. And apparently he's kind of like a Null, right? Only like Winter Miser. Remember that? Mr. Winter Miser.
From the Mike doesn't like Christmas movies, but I think it was like a Bumble. Was he like a Bumble?
Yeah. Okay.
Yukon Jack's little.
This cat comes storming out of Antarctica or the North Pole, whatever you want to call it. He comes storming out of this thing, and I swear to God, there's a panel in here. A moment I saw it, it reminded me of Immigrant Song. It was like, nah. Anyway, so he can control ice and winter and all this other stuff. So he makes all these animals, and they all fight. And then I don't know why they did this, but they got this stupid little side thing that's going on in there.
Oh my God.
Flash is trying to figure out work-life balance. I'm going to go ahead and tell everybody the secret about work-life balance right now, just in case you don't see my own show. It's bullshit. It was something that came up back in the late 70s, early 80s to kind of make work environment. So the thought behind it is if managers can make their employees happy, that we'll get more work out of them. So let's make up this thing called work balance. How do you balance the two, right? Because work's always – I'm going to go ahead and make this easy for you. It's also known as neo-management. You can actually look that up on YouTube and online. It's a philosophy used in workplaces to make employees more effective by acting like you care that they have interest in hobbies as a manager. It's bullshit. Here's work-life balance, the whole yard. You work hard. You make more money. The more money you make, the cooler shit you get to do. There's your work-life balance. right there. Because if you try this other thing that the Flash is trying to figure out, and he's talking to other people about it, like they just kind of threw Black Lightning in there. How's a single dad?
I like when he tries to talk to Batman. He's like, never mind.
Yeah, like seriously, it was kind of it was stupid. I don't know why that was forced in there, because the story was good on its own. Like I know Flash is there as sort of a comic relief type of thing, but he was being funny around this Frost King thing too. And this is actually a good story. It can stand on its own. And they got some really cool stuff going on, especially when they kind of did this whole thing with Black Adam. And apparently this guy's been caged since ancient times, like the first Shazam group that happened, and they had to bring Black Adam out to fight this guy. Apparently, we're going to find out. So we're dealing with the ancient. Yeah, you can say retconning, whatever. The truth is, it's just a story at the end of the day, and there's so much rich history between all these characters. I think it can stand on its own. So I liked this. So I'm stashing this.
Mike, what about you for Endless Winter?
Yeah, I didn't have high hopes for this, and it was pretty good. I think the Frost King is a pretty cool villain. He's like if Lobo and Sub-Zero and the Blue Devil had a baby. That's what he kind of looks like. I like the ties to Black Adam. Black Adam's always been a pretty cool, badass villain, so I guess they're going to try to recruit him. I don't know, but this is a surprise stash for me.
The other book we're going up against was Fantastic Four Road Trip. I didn't read Endless Winter. I thought I picked it up, but I guess I did not. So, Fantastic Four Road Trip. This was just a one-shot. I guess a variant cover of looked kind of grody with the thing. Looks like he's pulling a crusty scab off his arm and he's bleeding. So the Fantastic Four are on a road trip with Franklin and Valeria, and Reed wants to go to this pit where there's special sand. Yes, Mike, go ahead.
Why the fuck are they driving in a regular car?
I don't know. I think that's
wouldn't the Thing himself be weighing that bitch down? They'd be grinding axles and.
Not to mention, we're always hearing about the Fantastic Mobile that can just fly and do everything.
That took me right out of the book right quick. I was like, nope.
I guess I never made that connection, but they were talking about having to cram in there, though. But we find out that is it the Thinker or the Tinker? The Mad Thinker. It's actually set a trap for him where it poisons them, and they're all getting, the things, rocks are falling off. Not the 3 in the pink and 1 in the stink, Mike.
Is he getting his rocks off?
No, the thing was though.
And then we have Invisible Girl kind of slowly decaying, and then we have Mr. Fantastic getting all rubber. You can't have any kind of structure at all.
Turn into a rubber. Oh, yeah. This is so bad.
So basically, what's happening to these characters is their powers are reversing.
Is that what it is? They're reversing?
Yeah, Human Torch constantly burning, and it's like killing them, but not really. You got Mr. Fantastic, who's turning into goo. Invisible Woman's like really turning invisible, like her skin's invisible. She's like one of them old school see-through model type things we had as a kid. And the Thing is, he's got eczema or something. He's pulling off plates of his rock and his muscles underneath.
Sounds like they got the Baltimore Hood.
But other than that, this book sucks. The art is horrible.
Yeah, the art is absolutely horrible. I mean, they find out at the end that they all come together, I guess, as some kind of ultimate being. It'll reverse the effects. They end up coming out normal, and they end up beating the Mad Thinker or the 2 in a pink and 1 in a stinker.
That's why they're all joined as one.
Yeah. So overall, dude, this is not worth it. Don't spend your $5 for this. It's not giving you any more story. It's not adding anything to the Marvel universe at all. It's not worth it. Pick it up in your 50-cent bin, as far as I'm concerned. And yes, the art was atrocious, I thought.
That
So
cover
yeah,
that Dave has though, that is pretty cool. If you knew the story going in,
yeah.
Other words, it's just like, why is the thing pulling his chest apart?
Yeah, there's. I thought this was one of like, what's that thing called coming out with all these new artists, like the. I forgot what it was called. Some kind of team thing that they're doing. Remember a couple years ago they had all those covers. You know, I think this.
Young Guns cover.
Yeah, this is similar to Young Guns. I thought this was that cover, but I don't know. But overall, yeah, don't waste your time with it. Human Torch burned like a venereal disease, Michael? What does he have, Mike? Herpes?
He needs to go to the clinic because it won't stop burning.
It's the Baltimore HIV. It's the Baltimore Comic Con.
He's been hanging out in Baltimore with Sue Storm, and they're related, so you know how that goes.
So it seems like Endless Winter was a stash for both you guys, right?
Yes.
So I guess it's going to be Endless Winter moving forward in that round, beating out Fantastic Four.
I do have a question about this bracket. What if a comic book comes up and we both say, all three of us are like, it's garbage. Like, it's ferocious.
As in both books in the bracket are garbage?
Yeah.
Well, then it'll be up to the
Double S.
Yeah, double S.
Double S.
Okay, let's go over to MODOK versus Black Widow. I didn't read either one of those books.
Neither did I.
Oh, so Joe.
MODOK.
Are you just going to move MODOK up?
Yeah, it doesn't really matter at this point, does it? Unless somebody has something to say in the chat. This was okay, though.
I will defend Black Widow. This story has been awesome. I just haven't gotten around to reading it yet.
This was okay. It was kind of childish to some degree. We're trying to give MODOK some depth in this. So we've implanted somebody's put in memories, or he's got some sort of vision of him having a family, and it's a fucked up looking family. Like, I'm sorry, but it's kind of jacked up. Like the one daughter is like normal looking, and then the other daughter's got like the big head and the little body. I don't want to. I'll say it, and then I'll regret it. It looks like a little Down syndrome kid. Like, I'm sorry, it's so bad.
There goes that audience. Thank you, Joe.
Well, it was fun being on YouTube. We'll be over at BitChute next week. No, I'm joking.
Yeah, you've done offended two of our core audiences, the English and now the mentally disabled. Thank you.
Anyway, so that happened in this book, but AIM's an organization, and there's a pecking order in this organization, and MODOK has shown weakness, so now they go after him, and he's fighting it, and he thinks something's wrong with his programming, right? Because that's his thing. So he rushes off to go get help, and where does he go? Tony Stark. This is it's a fun story, especially if you have children that you really want to get into comic books. And you really want them to read it because they have foul language in it with little squiggly lines and all that bullshit, right? And there's still a story that has some meaning behind it. And there's action in it. There's probably more action in this than there was in that god-awful Fantastic Four story. I hate to say that. And the sad thing is I only picked this up because my wife collects Scotty Young covers. Like, that's her thing. And that's the only reason why I got it. And we all get the humor there, right? Like, his little butt, but like, we get the childish humor of it. So this is fun at best. The stash.
I couldn't do it. I used to like Patton Oswalt quite a bit. His stand-up stuff. He's gotten.
That looks like Patton Oswalt.
No, Patton Oswalt's the writer on that one. Yeah, it kind of looked like Patton Oswalt. Yeah, you could say that.
Well, he's playing MODOK in the cartoon.
Yeah. Yep.
Which
So
makes sense.
I'm not a big fan of him anymore. So it sounds like MODOK's moving forward in that bracket. So now we're going to Daredevil versus Jenica. Who read Daredevil this week? Mike. So, Mike, this is all on you. Daredevil versus Jenica.
Oh man! All right.
Only one moves forward, unless the chat disagrees with you.
And more in the chat. I doubt it. So, but Double S says, don't put that pressure on me, guys.
But me. I'm not going to go too much in it because you guys won't have a clue what I'm talking about. Just
jump into it, man.
The art in this book is horrible. I don't like the way Jenica's drawn. Let me show you a picture. So,
my third grade education won't handle it.
Does she look like Beta Ray Bill over in the Thor?
No, worse.
Worse? Because I thought that was pretty bad, to be honest.
I can't find a good picture. The panels are so small. God damn it.
That's what she said.
She said the panels were small?
Yeah, he said his panels were too small. She could barely see it.
I mean, look at...
Well, there are some tiny panels. Maybe it's a little too cold in there.
Basically, Jenica's teaming up with... I can't think of his name, but he's a mutant as well. He's a bat. So I'm not even going to explain it because you ain't reading Turtles, you ain't reading Jenica, but I'm blasting this just because the art takes me out. Daredevil, however, look at this cover. Look at that cover.
Nice cover. I saw that cover.
So this is kind of a key issue. If you haven't read this, those of you who have been reading Daredevil know that he's in prison. And everyone's saying, well, why is Daredevil in prison with his mask on? Well, because Daredevil wants it that way. He don't want Matthew Murdock to be jailed for what he did. He wants Daredevil, so he wears his mask. And this one, Elektra breaks in to talk to him. They have a heart-to-heart. That's not the cool part. Basically, Daredevil tells her, I want you to be more of a hero. So she ends up taking the mantle of Daredevil. She is the new Daredevil. So... And it actually pretty badass. Let me show you a picture.
Yeah, that was like the hype book of the week. I couldn't find it anywhere in the store, sitting on the shelves.
Really?
So going for like $40 on eBay.
Really?
Yeah. I saw that panel somewhere else, and all I could think of was Orko.
Like from
He-Man.
I could see that.
I could see that.
I think it's cool. Daredevil's moving forward.
Okay, Daredevil. Sorry, here. Let me go.
Super progressive.
Okay.
Not only a pretty cool issue, a great cover. I don't even know who did this cover. These nullified covers, they're pretty sick.
Yeah. Okay, next we got. I read both these books, Erratic and Knock 'Em Dead. I'm going to start with Erotic. Erotic, yeah. So when I was first reading this book, all I can think of is
erotic.
I know. Look, okay. I'm going. Let me get there. Relax. You're killing my joke here.
Sorry.
When he's talking about he only has powers 10 minutes a day, and somebody's like 15 years old. That's called masturbation. Every teenager goes through it. It's like, wow, those aren't special powers. Everybody does it. Huh?
Took you 10 minutes when you were a teenager.
Yeah. I sat on my hand to let it go numb and called it the stranger.
Really, I turned my hand the other direction and called it the Australian.
Did you do it counterclockwise?
Does your wife know this?
I don't know. She's in the living room, so we'll find out.
I hope she's watching.
She's not watching. She's actually out at the fabric store buying fabric, making me an erotic suit. Yeah, for the stranger. Double said, like that age, Jefferson Starship, Shawn Michael. We can make it if we're heart to heart. Overall, this was a pretty good book. I actually enjoyed this. Another good book coming out of AWA Upshot. I think you said it in your live chat, Joe. It's like a Spider-Man. It's kind of very much a Spider-Man look. He was very much kind of an outcast, kind of a nerdy kid, doesn't fit in. He's trying to kind of fit in, but he has this really unique power. He only gets it 10 minutes a day, and that's it. That's all. And I think that kind of brings a cool perspective to it. It's like, what's he going to do so heroic in those 10 minutes? I guess what's he going to do for the rest of the time, too? So who knows? But overall, I thought this was a pretty good book. Him and his brother are in a new high school. His mom was supposed to take this new job at this business or a firm, find out it's kind of a scam. She doesn't have this job, so now she's trying to figure out what she's going to do for money. Oh, yeah, that's where the erotic part comes in. And then, but his big brother, it really fits in. He's hanging out with the cool kids right out of the gate. And the main character is not. He's still trying to figure out where he's going to be. He ends up he has a crush on one of the popular girls, and end up saving her at the end of the book. I do like how they kind of tackle. They talk about socialism a little bit too with that one teacher. Oh, comrades! You know, and he very much looks like, and he was expected to get vice
the whole
principal.
school is progressive.
Yeah,
everybody's slightly a little bit more progressive than, let's say, normal schools would be, and then there's the over-the-top guy.
Yeah, and he was thinking he didn't get called to be vice principal that year. I guess they rotate through him, and he says, "Oh, it's only fair. It was my turn." But it's like, okay, we're going to base it off of job performance, not necessarily just because you're up. So there's a lot of that stuff going on with politics. Just because
the person who made vice president, she's all, I want to be your friend and give you hugs. There's no grades and anything anymore. Yeah. And I love that. Anyway, I'll go over that in my review. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to.
No, you're fine. Overall, I thought this was a great book. This is definitely a stash. Another great one coming out of Upshot. Why don't you go ahead, Joe?
We'll talk about that after. Buddy.
Did you read it? Mike, with Erotic.
Okay. So, Erratic. I loved Erratic. I like the fact that it's so old school Spider-Man with a real modern twist on it. Not what that whole J.J. Abrams something did. This seems more like the Spider-Man that, if you've been reading comic books for a while and you remember when he was young, or even if you read some of the older comic book stuff from Spider-Man, this is what it was like. He was an awkward kid. I thought it took a little long to get things moving in the comic book, but I'm glad they did it because we really wanted to set up that, this is going to be a bad situation on the home front. This is going to be an awkward situation. Why is Dad out of the picture? We finally found out it's because he's one of these reborns that they keep calling them. These are people with superpowers. I really liked that. I like the whole fact that his webs just aren't sticky. They actually kind of electrify a little bit. I thought that was really cool. I love the way it's drawn because it moves like a Spider-Man.
I call it Disney style. It looks
right.
like old school Disney animation.
Yeah, it was really cool. And I like the fact that they made this a little bit more serious on the home front. Mom got screwed over. Mom doesn't know what to do. Mom's going to go find an answer at the bottom of a bottle. Rent's due. Kids lying for mom. It's very realistic on that front. And then, the whole awkwardness of, high school, your first year in high school. I love the fact that there was a tagline through the whole thing that this is going to be my year. A bunch of kids said it. Some teachers said it. Like, it was the thing to say. I like that because it kind of gives different perspective of everybody of what they think their year is going to be. We're going to be the seniors. We're going to rule this. I'm going to do this. Expectations. I thought that was great, and how expectations can be destroyed. I think is ultimately going to be the goal of this kind of comic book story here. And I really hope it is because it's really great. This is smartly written. It's very good. Is it original, though? No. But it's still a super stash for me. I really enjoyed this.
Mike, what did you think of Erotic?
So this book is brilliantly written. You got this kid that you really don't find much about him out other than the basics. He's a nerd. He's picked on, blah, blah, blah. They built the school around this kid, basically. You find out more about the teachers, his mom, his brother, than you do this kid. I like that. Uh, you learn that one of the teachers might have superpowers. You guys didn't mention.
Oh yeah,
He basically talks that guy to commit suicide.
Power of suggestion.
This book was amazing. It's my pick of the week. Probably because it reminds me of Spider-Man so much. This is brilliant. So you don't find out anything about the powers he has either. So you do see him use it at the very end there, and the book just ends. So definite stash, pick of the week, blah blah blah.
Blah blah blah. That's the best review you've had all year 2020.
You're lucky I'm still awake, Sparky.
Isn't Sparky? Never mind. Not going to go there. Double S says, I don't know, Michael. Disney style sounds like a sex position.
Well, you need to talk to your wife, your girlfriend, your boyfriend, whatever. I don't judge. And say,
hey, he's the only one watching right now. Don't let's not chase him off.
Me and SS, we got a connection. We're cool. I mean, where was I going with this?
I don't know.
I'm tired.
There's another book we got to put on the bracket here.
Every week, being in the chat.
Okay, so we need to talk about Knock 'Em Dead. Joe, let's start us off with Knock 'Em Dead.
So Knock 'Em Dead, I want to like this. I really did, but there's nothing to like about this. It's a book about comedians. Guess what they don't do in here? They don't actually tell you the jokes. They use an emoji, like they use the eggplant emoji. So obviously the guy's saying something about a dick, and then at some point, as he's getting better, he throws, I don't know what the emoji for a hamburger represents in slang, but he adds that plus the eggplant. And now people start laughing at his jokes. He's a failed comedian. From a broken home, worst case scenario. Like, it's not like this book where like there were cause and effect for the situation. This is a bunch of stuff happened to a guy, and the guy wants to go be a stand-up comedian, but we don't hear any of the jokes or anything in it. So him and a guy, the night that he's actually funny and people actually do laugh at his jokes, they get into a car accident and he dies and then wakes up. But guess what? He's still dead. Like, he's, I guess, a zombie. I don't know. They didn't make it very clear. And it does that scratchy kind of art in here where everything's really kind of just out of the box, I guess, coloring outside the lines. The art in here is just hard on the eyes, and it's so bad. Cool cover, right? There's my positive thing. Somebody said I should start being more positive in my review. So cool cover. The rest of the shit's a dumpster fire.
Yes, Mike, go ahead.
So I thought this book was a whiskey dick. And I thought that you're going to throw the thing up there or not? Yeah. Okay. Whiskey dick. I thought the emojis were fine. You're not meant to know what the jokes were. You just know that he fucking sucks. It's his lifelong dream to be a stand-up comedian. Blah, blah, blah. He gets booed off stage every night. So moving forward, he gets into this accident, and like Joe said, he dies, but he's not really dead. But if you read the synopsis for the next issue, which they should have included in this issue, you learn that he is now possessed by a demon, and the demon's going to start telling the jokes, and we're going to go with that. So that intrigued me, so I'll be picking up issue number 2. But
yeah, you don't make a first issue the whiskey dick issue.
They really should have included him being possessed in this story, but you got to read the little box at the.
I read it, but I was like, Yeah, he fucked this issue up.
Yeah, I mean, there was a lot to tie in with that Joker movie, with the failed comedian. I felt like that vibe going through at the beginning of it, but really, it did not leave enough for me hanging. And like Mike said, they should have added, one panel or something of him up on stage, absolutely killing it, or something like that to
show. Actually pulled a joke. Like the writer actually put a joke in there. That would have been great.
That might have kept me on a little bit longer, but unfortunately, because it just kind of ended so abruptly, it didn't give me any meat to really grasp onto. Mike likes that. Look at that. Look at that. Yes, Mike.
Do you prefer your meat thin sliced or thick?
So Knock 'Em Dead is a blast for me. So it sounds like going from talking about meat, we're going to go with Erratic as the winner of that bracket there, right? Yes? Yay?
I don't know, man. You're the boss. This is your thing. I just show up, drink beer, and say words. I don't know what's going on.
I know you don't. Okay, last two books. I think this is Joe and Huey head-to-head here. We have Hellboy and Dear Becky. Hellboy was not on my pull list, and that might have been one of the books that just popped into my pull box. The one thing I could say I do like about Hellboy, I like they take historical myths and stuff like that and include them in the book. That's the only thing I think I really like about Hellboy. Most of the time, though, I don't
do that in this issue. Am I missing something? Did they do that in this issue?
Did you read this one,
Dear Becky?
No. I'm talking about Hellboy.
Oh yeah, no, I didn't read Hellboy.
No, yeah, I didn't read Dear Becky. So this is me and you going head to head because I don't think you read Hellboy.
Oh, I win. That's done. Just move my book forward. You're on mute. I'm just being funny. You're not mad, are you?
Hold on a second. We're professionals here. Okay, can you hear me now?
Yeah.
Okay, I'm back. No, I'm talking about Hellboy. I think I read Hellboy. You did not. We're gonna get to heavy. Don't worry about it. So that's what I'm talking about with Hellboy. I do like how they take myths and wives' tales and stuff like that and kind of incorporate them in the book as their real things, and Hellboy has to fight them. That's the only thing I do like about Hellboy. Most of the time, though, the stories themselves aren't engaging enough for me. Usually I'll buy like a Christmas issue or a Halloween special. I usually don't go into these usually like a 4-issue miniseries. This was okay. It's about a spirit coming back, which I thought was kind of cool. They talk about ascending. What do they call them? Yes, it's called ascending, which a ghost of very particular Iceland, and how they're sent to terrorize somebody that in order to dispatch them, you put a iron in their bone or touch them with iron, to be able to make them go away. So I love that kind of part of it, but overall, I'm not be picking up Hellboy a lot either. So if you like Hellboy, great, good on you, but it's not really much for me. What about you for Dear Becky?
Yeah, same thing. Well, not same thing, but I'm just getting to the point to where I'm starting to realize, and I'm surprised it took me this long. This is just a reoccurrence of a diary and somebody trying to figure out more about somebody he thought he knew. So all we're getting in this is Billy Butcher. Oh, I miss you, Becky. Becky, I love you. You went away, blah, blah, blah. I've used the things you've taught me, but I've just used them for my own personal gain because I'm a horrible person. Oh, I chopped some heads off, everybody. And it's just like, and when you look at this collectively, I'll go ahead and say it, it's just the sad rantings of a sad man. And it's just sad. You would think it would have something close to do with the boys, but they always added some little bit of action in there just to gets you kind of sort of close to it. But this particular issue is a blast for me. And the truth is, I'm so deep into this at this point, I probably just want to see where it actually ends up. Just to see Huey, who's reading all this, has confessed to his lover, Starlight, that he's been reading it. And she's like, well, you just need to get through it. And I need to be part of it now. And I'm just like, what? Why? What? Why can't we just go back to him reading it on the toilet and some sick shit going on? Now, the secondary story in it, there is like a split off from Volt. It's called this other company. It doesn't really matter. And they were trying to get some like D-list, C-list characters kind of hot and popular. But the truth is right now, you're just canning your own story. So what freaking difference does it make? It's all in the past. It's not relevant unless they do something really cool on the last issue where it's like, the boys are back. And that would be cool. But I just, knowing how the last boys ended, I just don't see that being a thing. So I'm going to blast this one. So that's a blast and a blast.
It is. So I just put it in the chat, double S, which moves on. So he'll let us know which one moves on. So let's jump over to the other side. It's Miles Morales versus King in Black. I think Mike is the only one that read Miles Morales. Is that correct?
I have not read it. I have it. But King in Black definitely moves on.
I'm thinking King in Black moves on too. And then we have Batman versus Thor, which moves on.
Thor.
Okay, well, I'm going for Batman, but I lose out, so Thor's moving up. Batman Adventures Endless Winter. I got one for Batman Adventures.
Endless Winter.
Endless Winter.
Okay, that moves up for. Did Double S respond back?
No.
Okay, how about Heavy, Mike? What'd you think of Heavy number 3?
I know Double S mentions books getting stale. This one's definitely getting stale for me. I think I'm gonna drop it. One little scene in this book, Slim actually during the alternate reality New York, Slim gets tossed into the New York River, and he climbs out. He's like, that was fucking disgusting. I swam past a lichen covered dead baby. It looked like a fucking chia pet. I thought that was the highlight of the book for me. But this is a blast.
I remember. Did you read MODOK, Mike?
No.
So it sounds like MODOK's moving up to moving up. Daredevil versus Erratic, and it sounds like Erratic was pretty much hands down a winner on that one.
Erratic.
Isn't that what I said?
Yep.
And then we did not get to decide on Hellboy or Dear Becky. That made us be
Hellboy.
Bracket. They're both garbage.
Okay, that's out of there. So between Erratic and MODOK, sound like Erratic is going to be the winner of those two. Would you say that was fair, Joe?
I would agree with that.
And then we have it's a 3-way here between King and Black, Thor, and Endless Winter. So like King and Black's moving up.
Yeah.
Now it's between. Oh, I don't want that. I don't want that.
Skip to the end. I don't think anybody's going to disagree. I'm joking.
It's going to be Erratic, probably the winner, huh? What do you think? King of Black or Erratic?
I vote Erratic.
Really? I'm going King and Black.
Ooh.
Dave?
I guess I'm the ultimate choice, huh? I'm going to go with
otherwise.
Yeah, I'm going to go with King and Black too. That's going to be our
just for the sheer action alone in it. Like it was nonstop action.
So, King of Black is the ultimate book of the week. Do you think this bracket thing worked okay? I'll ask you guys here. I'll ask the chat too.
It was fun. We should still do a lightning round now.
You think so? Do you still have a lightning round?
I got one book in mind. Mike, you got anything? Things you picked up and haven't read yet?
Yeah, but I already talked about them.
Fair enough. I got Recount from last week. Mike was nice enough to get that for me. It was a great book. Stash.
Yeah, all my books we talked about. The only other book that I shared on social media that I got this week, it's a back issue. It's one of my grails. I'm actually going to be picking up some more from this run, but this is outside of number one of the biggest grail books in the series, and that's Lois Lane, number 70, first Silver Age Catwoman. So I was really super happy to get this in my collection. I've got issues, I think 1 through 10 or 1 through 20. I forgot which way it goes, how many there are, lined out too to pick up for this run. Those are the biggest books. I mean, they're not number one's not the best condition, but I'm still going to dig it pretty good. Still going to get a good price on it, and looking forward to having those in my collection. So, anything else we want to talk about before we bounce on out of here?
The only thing about this bracket, it's time consuming.
We're just about the same time we normally are, just about an hour.
It's kind of normal.
Yeah, I guess you're right. My only other concern is, well, for this week, I don't know what next week might be different. We already knew the winners, the two finalists at the beginning of the.
Yeah, pretty much. But it's kind of cool to be able to break it down and kind of like filter them out and go, hey, which is the number one book of the week for us, so, and that's kind of fun. King in Black.
I'm actually surprised it didn't come down to, because the way the bracket was set up, it would have been interesting if it came down to Thor and King in Black, because that would have been a hard decision for me.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Yeah, and see, that's the thing, setting up those brackets. I'm trying to put like books together, so I want to put, so it's kind of hard to do that. I kind of want to keep Independence separate, and I want to keep Marvel separate and DC, trying to make 3 different brackets, but they're going to intermingle just because we don't know how many books are going to be out each week. Yeah. So that's the hard part. Mike likes intermingling, don't you?
I'm going to intermingle after this is over.
I bet you are. You're going to use that erratic 10-minute day power thing, are you? Okay, we're gonna go ahead and get out of here. I gotta go watch Mandalorian.
So
do I. Do. It's a great episode. It's a strong candidate for TV show of the year.
Is it better than the last episode? Is it better than the last episode?
It depends what you're a fan of more of, and I'm gonna leave it at that.
Like Star Wars stuff.
Like,
that's all, folks.
I'll just put it to you this way: if you like Boba Fett, you're gonna be excited.
What's Boba Fett?
So we are going to have the stashies coming up here pretty soon. Keep your eye out for that, where we do our annual show where we talk about the best, worst comics, TV, movies, all that fun stuff.
Show up, because we are going to praise and talk trash. So definitely tell your friends. It's going to be awesome.
I don't have friends.
You have us, Mike. Yes, that's all that matters.
Yes, you do, buddy.
What's actually one more comment in here?
Just in case
another great episode, guys. Double S, real quick too. What do you think of the bracket? Do you think it worked? Is something we should do again, or should we just talk about books and shut our pie holes? Shut the pie hole on the bracket thing. Okay, we're gonna go ahead and bounce on that. I'm gonna go watch Mandalorian. We'll catch you guys next week, next Friday. Blast the session. Later.